Hi, welcome back to my channel. Boy, do I have a different video in mind for you today. This video is about consumption. Well, what am I consuming? It's books. Let's talk about what I am doing with regarding my love of reading. Now, I'm on a fixed income, Social Security and disability, but yet I can read hundreds of books every year. In fact, let's talk about that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about NetGalley in a few minutes. Do I have notes? Heck no. Do I ever have notes? Heck no. But we're still going to go through some stuff, okay? Now, in 2018, I joined NetGalley. It's NetGalley.com. We're going to talk to you about that in a few minutes. I started NetGalley in 2018, and I set a reading goal for 285 books. Well, 2018, NetGalley, in May of 2018, I started my blog, robinlovesreading.com. So, my goal of 285, I met that goal. I surpassed that goal because I read 311 books that year. So, the following year, I said, I'm going to say I want to read a book a day. So, in 2019, I set my reading goal at 365 books, a book a day. Well, did I meet that goal? Yes, I did, because I passed that goal. I read 539 books in 2019. So I got a little bit more courage in 2020. I jumped up to setting a goal for 500 books. How did I do? 625 books. That's what I read in 2020. So 2021, I said, let me go ahead and leave my goal the same. I'm not going to change it. I left my goal at 500. How did I do? I got 583 books read in 2021. So for 2022, this year, I initially did set my goal at 500 again, but something happened to me at the end of January that caused a humongous shift in my mood. So I thought, to be kinder to myself, I would lower that goal to 400. Where am I with that goal of 400 for 2022? I am currently, it says 306 here, but that's because I didn't log my last book. So I think I'm at 307 or 308. So I will definitely meet my goal of 400 and might even get up to 500. Okay. Where am I getting these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books that I'm reading? I'm getting them from, we'll say 4 sources. And if I'm wrong, I can, adjust that. The first one is NetGalley.com. Now, I am going to include in this video a little bit of a screen recording of going on to NetGalley.com. So I'm going to shut this camera off, set up a screen recording, tell you a little bit about NetGalley, and then I'll come back and talk to you some more. Here we have it. You go to NetGalley.com. I'm telling NetGalley to show me this in desktop view. And now I am looking at the main page. And now I am going into my bio page, Robin Taylor. And About Me has the type of books that I read or prefer, categories and things that are of interest or topics, and my bio. That's what's on that page. These are links that connect to social media regarding my reviewing. Then the next thing I bring up is what happens once I get a book that I request. So I'm going to show you the start reading page, which is this page right here. And on this page right here, what you have are books that I have been approved for, but that I have not yet downloaded to my tablet or to my Kindle app. Okay. Now, while this is scrolling, it's also going to show you books that I have downloaded, and they're under Give Feedback, See All. And there you have page after page after page of ARCs that I have been approved of that I have not yet read. So that's what this is right here. And I do this for maybe 3 times. It looks like I did it three pages. Okay. And then the next thing I did is, if I left feedback, where did I leave feedback at? And I'm going to bring that up. And yes, I know I'm clicking through other things, but it's going to come. Feedback sent. So for feedback sent, these are book reviews that I have published on NetGalley, Goodreads, my blog, wherever I provide book reviews. So that's what that page is. And then at the very end of this, it shows you what books I have been approved for versus how many I have reviewed. Okay, so I ran a clip, and it might seem confusing, and I'll do my best to explain it. I try to do voiceover, but I don't know how to save it on LumaFusion. Basically, NetGalley is a review site that you sign up for, and you go in, you create a profile, you create a bio, and you provide a link to your blog or your Instagram or your Twitter, your Goodreads, whatever links you have. And then you request ARCs, advanced reader copies, and sometimes you're approved, sometimes you're denied. If you're approved, then you read the book, you write a review, you provide the review, you provide the review to NetGalley, because it is a book review site, a reader review site. And then some of us are like overkill, and we put stuff everywhere. My blog, my channel, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And that is one of the ways that I personally get books. Now, what I wasn't able to do via a voiceover, and I'm going to bring up NetGalley on my iPad. So if I go into my NetGalley shelf and I go into my bio, the last thing that was on that screen record was these numbers here. 2,328 books were approved, and I have given feedback for 1,352. So since 2018, which was March 2018, I have provided 1,352 reviews on NetGalley, but I was approved twice that. So I still have over 1,000 books, or about 1,000 galleys that I need to get read, and I will. But NetGalley has what they call a recommended feedback ratio that publishers look at in some cases, not in all cases, in some cases, to determine whether or not to approve you for a galley that you request. Well, my ratio is 57%, but at the beginning of this video, I showed you, I illustrated that I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books over the past few years since I joined NetGalley. So why can't I raise my ratio any higher than 57%? Well, because as we talked about, the word that I'm using today is consumption. Is how am I getting these books that I am consuming? Well, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Now, right here, and I don't want to make a big crash, I have books that I would like to get read in the next few weeks. You see these right here? I don't want to drop them, okay? I'm going to put them down. Those are print ARCs, print advanced reader copies provided by publishers that I provide book reviews on. So, I showed you NetGalley. I just showed you one stack. That one stack is multiplied by 20 or 30 because I've got hundreds and hundreds of print ARCs. Sometimes I do get duplicates because I have the advanced reader copy of The Hookup Plan by Farah Rashan, but I just got the final copy, the trade paperback copy. Okay, so these come in, I try to get them read, you try to get them reviewed, and what I like if you look at like the advanced reader copy, there's nothing on the binding except for the title, the author, and the publisher. But if you look at the final copy, you see the couple is on there. So I love it. You see the couples on the cover, but the couple's also on the binding. So I do like to get final copies because sometimes they're different than the advanced reader copies. Then I have books like Trust, or another one that I have, Do You Follow? There's one more I wanted to show you. Where did it go? I feel like there's one more. Well, there's one more I wanted to show you, but those two books there, sometimes a publisher or an author will write me and say, hey, I've got a book, will you read it? So I've got those. Another one that fits that category is Breach. So these are books that I would ordinarily read, but when I got approached, they look good. So, talked about NetGalley. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ARCs that I get, print ARCs, they come in the mail. But I also do books in another manner, in a couple other manners. I use my online libraries. I use Hoopla or Overdrive. I could probably just use Libby and just use that one service, but I like to use both Overdrive and Hoopla. So when I use Overdrive and Hoopla, the question is, well, if you're getting all these books from NetGalley and the publishers are sending you all these print ARCs, why are you going to your online library and getting even more? There's a reason for that. See, I am a series fanatic. In fact, I am also a spreadsheet nut, and I have one of my spreadsheets, which it's probably way down because I haven't accessed it in a while. But one of my spreadsheets that I created is called a series spreadsheet. So I created this, and I am going to have to search it because I have hundreds of spreadsheets. So I created this series spreadsheet, and I track series that I want to read or am reading. So for 2021, last year, I wanted to read all of these. 2022, these are the ones that I wanted to read this year. This does not include trilogies or ongoing books or sophomore books in a new series. These are just longer series. Okay, sorry for the notification. And then I have a master, which is all the series that I'm trying to keep my eyes on. Well, since I'm a series fanatic, here's what I do. If I get a book for review, let's just pretend that this is part of a series. It could be, I don't know. But if this were part of a series, and let's say it was book number 2 or book number 3 in a series, and it very well could be, I don't know. I will go to Hoopla or Overdrive, and I will look for books 1 and 2, or 1 through 10, or 1 through 15. And I will read all of those before I get to this one. That's just an example. This one may or may not be a series. Because a lot of these are standalones. Like this is a standalone, so there's no need for me to go look up Barb Curtis on Hoopla or Overdrive because I don't believe this is part of a series. Okay? Now, for example, the Hookup Plan is part of a series, but I already know that I have already read those previous books, and they're right here on the inside cover. So since I've already read these, I don't have to go to my online library and read them. But if I grab a book like, we'll say this one right here, The Hidden One by Linda Castillo, I believe this is like 16 or 17 in the series. So I read the first book, and I won't touch this and any of the other ones I have by her on my shelf in the living room until I have caught up with the series. Philip Margolin's A Matter of Life or Death. If I'm not mistaken, there's 2 or 3 other books in this, and I've only read one. Where are they? The Third Victim, The Perfect Alibi, and A Reasonable Doubt. I believe I read The Third Victim in The Perfect Alibi, but I don't think I've had a chance to read A Reasonable Doubt yet. So I will read A Reasonable Doubt and then I will read this. So that is why the library is so important to me. Now, to give you an idea of what my library usage looks like, if I were to pull up, say, Hoopla on my iPad, and I know we're going to have a glare. If I go to my Hoopla, this will show you what books I have downloaded from Hoopla. Okay. Now remember I said I wanted to read anything else by Margolin? Well, since it took me so long to get to this, guess what? This is available on Hoopla, so I can listen to it as an audiobook. And that's another thing that I do. So let's iterate this a little clearer. Let's say that I have a book that comes out July 12th, but I don't get to it until July 13th or July 14th, or a book that comes out July 19th, but I don't get to it till July 20th or 21st. I'm going to go to Hoopla and see if it's available in audiobook format. If Hoopla has it, great. I'll get it. If Hoopla doesn't have it, then I'll go to Overdrive and I'll get it from Overdrive. Now, Philip Margolin's A Matter of Life or Death is the fourth book. The third book is The Darkest Place. So guess what? Yes, I have the third book. So that's why I use my library so much. Now, that's not the only way. We've talked about NetGalley. We've talked about print arcs from all these different publishers that send me books. But we also talked about Hoopla and Overdrive. But then there's something else that we can talk about. Is I have a long history with Audible. Okay? To the tune of 402 Audible titles that I have accumulated over the past, I think, 9 years. I'm never going to let that subscription go as long as I can possibly hold on to it. So, Audible. I usually get 1 credit per month, but sometimes there'll be more that I want to read, so I will buy the 3 credits for like $31. And then there's been times when I go ahead and get 2 credits per month. So I have Audible. What if my library doesn't have the book? And what if, Hoopla or Overdrive doesn't have it? What else can I do? I can go to Scribd. And this is my Scribd account. And these are the last 2 books that I got on Scribd. Lisa Jewell's The Family Upstairs and Piper Hughley's By Her Own Design. So I keep my Scribd subscription up to date because there are things that I want to grab on Scribd. Then there's one more avenue that I get books. I'm just looking at my my book folder on my iPad to see if I'm leaving anything out. There's another avenue. The avenue started with NetGalley because NetGalley started offering audiobook arcs. Okay. So like if you want to go to NetGalley and get a book for review, you click Find Titles. Okay, let me just show you. You see where it says Find Titles? So you click that. The first listing is all the audiobook arcs they have available. And then something they're featuring like this month is historical fiction, which I absolutely love. And then recently added books. So NetGalley has recently started adding audiobooks. So I started reviewing audiobooks for NetGalley. Well, that has grown by leaps and bounds because I am now on several influencer teams. Because of those influencer teams that I'm on, I get the print arcs. Well, there's another influencer that I work with, and now that provides me with audiobook arcs. And because I'm getting the audiobook arcs from this influencer, it opens up another area in which I can get books, and that's Libra FM. So if I go to Libra FM And let's see, let's get past this menu. These are the audiobooks that I have gotten since I joined that influencer program on Libra FM. But there are times that the Hachette audiobook program doesn't have what they want that I have requested, so they'll put them on Google Play. So I have Google Play books, and I've already read these. Nobody But Us, Just the Two of Us, 21 Day Keto Magic. I haven't read that yet. Shh. I haven't read this one either, but I have read Alison Bliss's Out of the Blue, Roy Johansson's Killer View. I've read most of these. So there's only a few, because this is only like a 3-month. This has only been going on maybe 3 months. For the following month, like the end of July going into August, I think I requested maybe 11 or 12. So there will be a lot more Hachette audiobooks that come up for me there. So, NetGalley. Authors sending me print ARCs, my online libraries, Audible, Scribd, audiobooks that come through NetGalley themselves, or the Hachette audiobook program that uses Google Play and Libra FM. So that is my consumption story for you. That is how I get all of these books that I read, to the point that I can read hundreds and hundreds of books without having to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, the thing is, if a person were to add up what they consume in books, and you round it off, and then you multiply that by the number of books that you have read, that's going to come up to the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So let's say, for example, my end of July going into August Hachette audiobooks, 2 of the books that I am getting are $65 each if I were to get them in hardcover, but I'm getting them as audiobook ARCs. Now, that's very unusual for a book to be that expensive, but that's just the cost of those 2 particular books. Now, I could never afford to go to Barnes & Noble and just go up to the shelves and just start grabbing books. I couldn't. But I'm a consumer of books. I consume a lot of books. And I have found all of these avenues that allow me the choice of consumption. Now, I track everything that I do on spreadsheets. You know, I am a nerd / geek / bibliophile / erudite, whatever you want to call me, that's what I am. So when I look at my summary page on my spreadsheet, it tells me things like this. It tells me that I have purchased 3 books, and those would be books that I had to get on Kindle because I just couldn't get them anywhere else. I have 278 advanced reader copies and 27 library books for 2022. That's just for 2022. But free books. How many free books have I read so far in 2022? 305. Free. Yeah. So that's my story about consumption. Don't ask me why I think this video is important and worth making, but there you have it. So here's what I want you to do. Let me know if there's anything that you would like me to elaborate on and to isolate. Would you like me to isolate NetGalley? Would you like me to isolate how to use your public library that's down the street from you, but get audiobooks that go right to your device? Okay? And we'll just take a quick peek at that. So this is one of my tablets. This is my my Samsung tablet. So if I were to grab my Hoopla on my Samsung, just bear with me. I just want to close that because there's something I want to show you. I'm going to reopen it. If I bring up Hoopla on here, right? You see where it says Holbrook Public Library? Yes, I live in the town of Holbrook. So this accesses my public library. And then I get books that I download to my tablet via my public library. So if you want me to, elaborate on any of that, just let me know and I'll be glad to share it. So I don't know how long this video is because it's in 2 parts. Hubby's going to work soon, so I think he's shaving because I hear water running. So I'm sorry for that background noise, but life is life. We live with our families, right? So there you have it. My story of consumption. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.